Hello, thank you for joining me. Today we are here to choose my March TBR, the most exciting day of the month. Let's get into it. I have here with us today my first ever TBR jar. The other night I went live, and for folks who were able to join me, they gave me a bunch of TBR prompts to help me take down my massive physical TBR. I have about 55 prompts in here, so it should do me for the year. Just a bit of a side note, this wonderful gentleman will be joining us today.
Thank
He
you.
is from the most random sticker book I've ever seen in my life. When I went live, I told folks to just say stop, and whatever page it landed on, that was the sticker I was going to be using. And you know what? Right now, I am completely obsessed with Bridgerton, so he's on theme. You know what? This is like very exciting for me because it's the first time that I have a actual TBR prompt jar. I see everybody doing it every month, and I always want to join in on the fun, and now I finally can. Let's pick the first one. I don't want to look at it first. I'm going to get you to look at it first. Can you see that? Probably can't read my writing though, can you?
Nope.
Oh, it was upside down. I'm sorry. A book with many authors. Okay, okay. I can think of a few right off the bat. Okay, so these are my three options. I'm talking into this like it's a mic. Here are my three options for book with many authors. Let's go through them. First up, we have Marple, which is based on Agatha Christie's well-known character of Marple, who's a detective. However, this was written after Christie's death, and it's written by a bunch of different authors who kind of extend Marple's stories. So it's a bunch of shorter mysteries. I got this at least 3 years ago, and I've been really wanting to get to it. Now, it's not quite mystery season, so let's see the other ones. Not quite mystery season, but is it dark academia season or horror story season? No. These Hallowed Halls, this is an anthology with Olivia Blake, one of my favorite auto-buy authors. M.L. Rio, who wrote If We Were Villains and Hot Wax, that just came out. Susie Young, J.T. Ellison, David Bell. I think this could be really good. I've only read one or two dark academia books, and one of them was The Secret History, which I really did not like. So it's time that a book redeems itself for me. So this could be a really good option. With that, however, I have been wanting to get to this book ASAP. I got this from Aardvark book subscription box, and I've only heard the best things about it. There are some stellar authors in this anthology. We've got CJ Lead, Jennifer Thorne, S.A. Barnes, Stephen Graham Jones. The only thing that has me debating this one over the others is that I've had the others on my shelf for much longer, so they've put in more work, you know? Okay, with that logic, I am going to go for Marple. This is the winner. So this is going to be the first book on my March TBR. Okay, next, I realized you didn't get to see the grab in the first one. Listen, I'm learning. I'll get better at this, I promise. Okay. Hopefully this one is right side up for you. Can you read it? Can you read my writing too? A special edition book. Ooh! Okay. This is very exciting because I have actually never read a special edition book because I've only started getting them very recently, but I know I have 2 or 3 around here somewhere. This is great. I'm so excited. Okay, this was a great prompt. We've got some gorgeous books here. First up, we have Air by Sabaa Tahir. Now, the only reason why I'm hesitant to dive into this one is because I have yet to read Ember in the Ashes. And I've been told that that one is a little bit more fast paced and it belongs to the same world. So it gives you a little bit more of a background before heading into air. I will say though, this is probably one of the most gorgeous books I own. I do own all of the Ember and the Ashes series, however, so I'll put this off for now, but I will get to that series at some point. Next, we have Calabasas by R.F. Kuang. I finished Yellowface by R.F. Kuang a few months ago, and I really didn't like it. And I've heard this one has gotten like mixed reviews. So I'm hesitant for this to be my next Kuang book, because if I also don't like this one, like, am I just never going to read her again? But like, I have Babel that I really want to read as well. So I think my next one by her should be Babel. Plus, before diving into Catabasis, I really wanted to reread Dante's Inferno, which I do have right there in front of me on my desk so I don't forget to read it. So I might hold off on this one too. Which means that the one I'm going to put on my March TBR is Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldree. This is the sequel to Legends and Lattes, which I absolutely adored. That was my first cozy fantasy that I'd ever read, and I absolutely fell in love with the genre. I've read quite a few cozy fantasies since, also love them. So I am due to head into this one. It's gorgeous. Plus, I have the third book that just came out a few months ago that I also haven't read. Look how beautiful this is. It's so nice, and I'm getting pretty excited just talking about it because I miss these characters and I miss their world. This is an easy decision for me. Okay, that was like too much excitement at once. I need to hydrate. Can we take a moment for this sticker as well? I love it. I also love this little ghosty. Not all disabilities are visible. Shout out to all my other spoonies out there. I'm gonna pick 6. Unless one of them is like over 500 pages, then maybe I'll choose 5. Okay. Ooh, a long one. A book that matches the season. Okay, hold on, but it's icy out there. I'm looking at the ocean. It's covered in ice. My front yard is still covered in snow, but doesn't spring start this month? I'll need to do some digging. Let's go. Okay, this is a hard one, and I think I may have bent some of the rules, but let's go through the ones that I grabbed. So I went literal with this one here. We have The Healing Season of Pottery by Yeon So-min. I grabbed this because it had the word season in it. So I may have veered a little off track here. Let me know if it's unfair. This is giving very, very cozy. I'll read just like the snippet in the back. After the worst year of her life, Jungmin knows something has to change, but she never expected to find the answer and a way out of her messy life in a cozy pottery studio. This sounds absolutely lovely. Now I'm looking at the other 2 I already grabbed for this month. One is like cozy mystery, the other one's cozy fantasy. So I'm not sure if I want a third cozy book. Let's see what else I grabbed. Africville. This is by Jeffrey Colvin. Now I grabbed this because even though we're March, last month in February was African Heritage Month here in Nova Scotia, and I actually didn't read a African Nova Scotian author, and I usually do. So I'm making up for lost time here with this one. It's also nonfiction, so I thought it could be a nice mix to what I currently have. A similar thought process, I picked up Julie Chen is Dead because I associate March with Canada Reads season. And Julie Chen is Dead, even though it won't be on the debates this year, it is part of the long list, and I really, really, really wanted to read it. I think for just a little bit of like a mix-up of genres, I'm gonna go with Africville because I don't have a nonfiction yet this month. Okay, I found the scissors that I use to cut these because my little pudgy fingers aren't able to mix these around very well. Okay, next. It's short. Oh, I can't read backwards. A modern retelling. Oh, I like this prompt. A modern retelling. I have a few at the top of my head. Let's go get them. I was very excited when I got this prompt because one of my favorite types of books are retellings. And I have three that have been on my TBR for a very long time. Two are from Aardvark, so let's check out those first. The first one is The Hounding, which I've been told is a mix of Virgin Suicides meets The Crucible. And I do believe it is like a proper Crucible retelling. I'm a huge Arthur Miller fan. I think I've read almost everything he's ever written. And this is nice and short. Since I grabbed the Africville nonfiction, I think my next couple of choices will have to be on the shorter side. So this is definitely a contender. The second Aardvark book is Local Heavens, and this is like a cyberpunk Great Gatsby retelling. Like, it just sounds so cool, so cool, and I've heard great things about it. I think this is the author's debut novel, which is neat. Love the cover. I'm very intrigued by this book, and one of my favorite authors, Olivia Blake, has the blurb in the back there where she says it's one of her favorite books of the year. So I trust her. Now, again, I'm a little intimidated by the thickness of this book. It is nearly 500 pages. I don't know. I really want to read it though. Okay, and then finally we have Burnham Wood, which is a Macbeth retelling, and I love Shakespeare in general, love Macbeth. I've been wanting to read this for a little while. It's won so many awards. The author's a Booker Prize winner, so I have no doubt that I will like this book. This one has also been on my TBR for a very long time, hence the dust. My God, I swear I dust my shelves. Okay, this is probably the hardest choice I've had so far. I'm gonna forego Local Heavens because the fact that I already picked 6 books and we're already like a few days into March, I just don't see it happening. So I'm gonna be between these two. My logic for Marple was that it's been on my TBR for a really long time, so I am not going to use the same logic. Let's go with The Hounding. This was the first Aardvark book I'd ever gotten. And I still haven't read it, which is just so silly. And that was back in August. So let's add this to the TBR. Okay, where are we at? 4. So we have 2 more to pick. Okay, hopefully you can read it. An author you've never read. This is going to be hard to choose from because I haven't read most of my TBR. But okay, I'll try to narrow it down to like 3 or 4 options, but let's go. This one was so easy. It's a joke. Like I said earlier, there's so many authors on my TBR I'd never read before. So I just grabbed some little shorties that I could see even just from here that were right in front of me. We've got Headshot by Rita Bullwinkle. This has been a priority read of mine for way too long. I'll probably choose this one because I've been waiting for an excuse to read it. This is about young competitive athletes and kind of the emotional roller coasters and physical roller coasters that they go through while also just growing up. As someone who was a competitive athlete during all of my childhood and as a teenager, I just think I'm really going to connect to it. The other 2 I added is Walking Practice by Dolki Min. This is a South Korean author, I believe. This is about aliens who want to come take over human bodies or study human bodies, from what I understand. And there ends up being like a very unique perspective around disabilities. Again, another one that sounds super interesting. Actually, I don't have any authors from like outside of North America on my TBR so far. That's not good. Okay, actually, maybe I have to forego Headshot. Oh, okay. It's okay. This is going to be good too. With that, the other one I chose was Terrace Story. I forget what this is about. I think it's just a bunch of different stories that follow a bunch of people who live in the same apartment complex. Sounds lovely. I'm a big full cast fan. I also love little individual stories that kind of come together in the end. It's a trope that really works for me. With that, as I mentioned, I'm going to go with walking practice. Okay, final selection. Can I get a drum roll, please? Can you read that? A book with a house on the cover. There's a lot of those, aren't there? I have a feeling it'll probably be like horror or thriller, because most books that I have that have a house on the cover, it usually is because the house is haunted. So let's go find a few of those. Okay, final pick, a book with a house on it. So this is the only one that has like an actual physical house in front of it that I chose. However, I bent the rules just a little bit. We have Anton Chekhov's Selected Stories that features the inside of a house, and I thought that could count. And then we have The Reprieve, mostly because it's the first book I saw when I turned around. Even though this is not a house, it is like a home for people. Not gonna lie, this one definitely piques my interest the most because it is more of a thriller, and I think I could use something a little bit fast-paced in this pile, because I've got something a little absurdist, sci-fi, I have literary fiction, I have a mystery, fantasy, and then a nonfiction. So I feel like a page turner might be necessary, especially if I'm reading like at the same time as the nonfiction, for example. So I've heard this one is really, really good. I just love the cover of this book and I wanted to show it off. But realistically, I'm like Russian short stories. When I have 2 or 3 here that are already a little heavier, it might not be the time and place for Chekhov right now. Now, House of Frank should be the winner, right? Because it even like says house in the title. And I've only heard the very best things about this book. I just have 2 concerns. One is that it is quite long. It is around 400 pages. Plus, I've heard it's also a bit of like a cozy fantasy or like cozy magic realism. And I already have Bookshops and Bone Dust in there. So again, I know I'm gonna love it. I don't know if it's like right in the pile for March. So with that, even though it's longer than I would have liked for my final pick, I am going to go with The Reprieve. I'm just thinking I will benefit from having something fast-paced in this pile. Okay, so here we are. This is the final March TBR. It is looking stacked, pun intended. I've got lots of different genres in here. I have different voices, a variety of countries as well. This is a mix of books I wouldn't have chosen on my own either. So this jar is doing great work. Now let's get to reading, because this is a lot of pages. What's on your March TBR? Let me know in the comments. Okay, now we need to put away all these books. Want to come help? I'd love an extra hand. Okay,